Welcome back to the Jake Asman Show on the SportsMap Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage. Need a mortgage that fits your life? Rocket can.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios, here's Jake Asman.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts. For all your car care needs, get guaranteed low prices and excellent customer service from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts. O'Reilly Auto Parts, better prices every day.
Aaron definitely knows how we feel about him. How he's such an important part to our football team, such an important part to our organization. And, we're just going to continue to try to work through this and hopefully can get him back in the building at some point.
Well, there you have it from the head coach of the Green Bay Packers, Matt LaFleur. And the response is what you thought, right? We hope to get him back, but it doesn't exactly sound like they're sure they're going to get him back. Ultimately, I think what we saw from Aaron Rodgers the other night in his interview with Kenny Mayne on ESPN is Aaron Rodgers is just trying to make things as comfortable as humanly possible. Aaron Rodgers is just trying to go out there and basically tell the world that he's unhappy and still try and get the fan base on his side. That's why he says this nonsense that it's about the people. It's about the people. And it's like his weird, philosopher voice that we heard the other night on ESPN. It's never been about the people, Aaron. It's about winning football games. It's a business. You don't like the fact that the team that drafted you, that you balled out for 16 years, tried to draft your replacement. And let me be clear. I'm with Aaron Rodgers on that. But I also think at this point, the best thing for both sides is to shut up and just figure it out for one more season. If you want to leave Aaron Rodgers, do it after this year. Do what Tom Brady did. Work it out in your contract so you can leave and go your separate way. Because as I said on the show yesterday, ultimately, the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers are still the best fit for one another. The Packers' best chance to win a Super Bowl is with Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers' best chance to win another ring, which he desperately needs for his legacy, is still with the Packers. Because ultimately, you look at that division, who scares you? Lions and Jared Goff? Justin Fields and the Bears as a rookie? I mean, don't even get me started with Kirk Cousins and the Vikings. The Packers have won 13 games the last 2 years. They're still the best team in that division. You look around the NFC, who's better than the Packers other than maybe the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? So if you're Aaron Rodgers, deal with the nonsense, go back for one more year, and just win. You say you like the coaching staff, you love your teammates, just deal with Gutekunst and Mark Murphy, the GM and the CEO. Just deal with those guys the same way, the 98 Bulls dealt with Jerry Krause and Jerry Reinsdorf. I'm with Aaron Rodgers on the fact that the Packers should not have taken Jordan Love, that the Packers have not always gone above and beyond to put maybe the best weapons around Rodgers. But I'm sorry. You talk about cultures in the NFL, the Packers have one of the best. And you talk about, Jake, they haven't given them weapons. Yeah, maybe they haven't used first-round picks on skill players, and that's certainly a fair complaint. But you don't necessarily have to use first-round pick on skill players when you hit on guys like Devontae Adams in the second round. When you hit on a guy like Aaron Jones in the fifth round. When you go out there and you find a guy like Robert Tonyan as an undrafted dude. So I understand Aaron Rodgers' frustration. I understand he's not happy with the Jordan Love pick. I'm with him there. But I just think the pouting and the nonsense he spewed the other day on ESPN, it's not going to lead to anything. Because I think ultimately what happens here is the Packers are dead set on not trading him until at least next year. And if he doesn't show up, they're just going to play Jordan Love and move on. And it might blow up in their face. Jordan Love might stink. But there's no reason for Green Bay to trade him right now when they're not going to be able to maximize his value. And look, if you're the Packers, you took Jordan Love in the first round, you're going to have to see what he is. You don't get years upon years to sit behind a guy anymore. That's not how the contract structure works in the NFL. In the 2011 lockout, a big reason why we had a lockout is because NFL teams were fed the bleep up with having to give, first round draft picks $60-something million when they've never played a snap in the NFL. So now there's a rookie wage scale. And after 3 years in the NFL, if you're drafted in the first round, your fifth-year option has to be either picked up or declined. So Jordan Love's going to have to see the field soon. Otherwise, they're not going to know what they have. He's got to get, the rookie mistakes out of the way here in year 2, right? So you know what you have going into year 3, or you move on and take a quarterback or do something else. Obviously, you worry about that down the line if Rodgers comes back because you're trying to win a Super Bowl, which is why, by the way, the pick never made any sense coming off a 13-3 season, but we all understand that. But I don't think the Packers are going to be like, well, Aaron's not here. We're just going to trade him. I just think it's pouting by Rodgers at this point. Show up, ball out, and go somewhere else after the year. After you have a chance to win another ring, which he desperately needs to cement his legacy as one of the greats of all time. He's already a Hall of Famer, but you look at his career. As great as Aaron Rodgers is, he's been on 1 Super Bowl. And that was a decade ago. As great as Drew Brees was, 1 Super Bowl. Those two guys should have had, Brees certainly should have had more. Rodgers certainly should have more. And if he wins 1 more with the Packers, that's more than Favre ever did, which would, I'm sure, mean a lot to Rodgers to be considered, arguably the best Packers quarterback of all time. Matt LaFleur was also asked about Jordan Love, and this is what the head coach of the Green Bay Packers had to say about his soon-to-be second-year quarterback.
I think Jordan is definitely, you can tell he put some work in this offseason on his own. I think the ball is really jumping out of his hands well right now. And, it's day 2 of OTAs, and, all we've really done is thrown routes on air. We had some 7-on-7, but you guys could see that the team periods, they're not full speed. So, we're excited about just some of the progress we've seen with him, but certainly there's a long way to go there.
Well, it's also tough to evaluate what Jordan Love is when 5 wide receivers for the Packers also don't show up to the OTA workouts. That is also not a coincidence here. That's sending a message that the wide receivers are frustrated that this whole thing is public between Rodgers and the team. They're showing support to the quarterback. Now, they're voluntary workouts, so no one's doing anything wrong, but a message is clearly being sent when Devontae Adams, Allen Lazard, Marquise Valdez-Scantling, when all of those guys don't show up, there's clearly a message that's being sent. What exactly the message is, we got to read through the tea leaves to interpret. But there's 100% a message that's being sent. And ultimately, I still think this ends with Aaron Rodgers quarterbacking the Green Bay Packers in the 2021 NFL season. I think maybe it gets ugly over the summer in training camp, but the best move for Aaron Rodgers is still to show up, go out there, play really well, and try and win. Because just like Michael Jordan did, he won in spite of Jerry Krause in The Last Dance. We now have the Last Dance Packers edition going on.